Beneath Australia's red deserts lies something that could reshape the 21st century. Early November 2025, China announced a nuclear breakthrough that shocked Washington. October 20th, the United States signed an $8.5 billion deal with Australia, the largest critical minerals partnership in history. This isn't yesterday's news. This is happening right now. Resources forming the foundation of a potential $100 trillion transformation of the global economy. And Australia just played the most brilliant hand in modern geopolitics. 2019, a Chinese company tried to buy $1.5 billion in Australian lithium. Australia blocked it. China's response was brutal. Coal banned. Barley hit with 80% tariffs. Wine with 200%. Lobsters rejected. $7.6 billion in trade, frozen overnight. But by late 2023, China quietly lifted most restrictions. Why? They realized they were fighting the wrong war. The real battle was over materials that make the modern world function. Early November 2025, China successfully converted thorium into nuclear fuel. Australia holds 595,000 tons of thorium, one of the top 4 nations globally. October 20th, the U.S. signed that $8.5 billion minerals deal. Coincidence? Not even close. The battlefield shifted, and Australia holds what both superpowers desperately need. Let me show you exactly what's buried under that red dirt. 3 resources. 3 reasons this is a $100 trillion war. 17 elements in everything. Smartphone screens, EV motors, wind turbines, fighter jets, guided missiles. In 2020, China controlled 97% of processing. By late 2025, down to 85 to 90%. Why? May 2025, Lynas produced separated heavy rare earths outside China. First time in decades. Australia is becoming the West's only alternative. Second largest mining producer globally, 4th overall. 20 million EVs on the road today. By 2030, base case, 175 to 200 million. Aggressive net zero scenarios, 300 million plus. Australia holds 23% of world reserves, 8.7 million tons. Number 1 producer globally, over 50% of supply. 1 EV battery, 8 to 10 kilograms of lithium. 200 million vehicles times 10 kilograms equals 2 million tons per year. At $15,000 to $24,000 per ton, $30 to $48 billion annually. Just for EVs. Project that forward 20 years. You see where that transformation value comes from. 900 million tons shipped annually. China takes 60 to 80%, worth $69 billion in 2024. China's economy is slowing, but military expansion accelerating. Every destroyer, carrier, tank needs steel, which needs iron ore. Result? Mutually assured economic destruction. Australia can't afford to cut China off. China can't afford to lose Australia. 900 million tons of leverage in a strategic stalemate. 2025, the year this war went from cold to scalding. 15 years, approximately $40 billion invested in Australian mining. Buy everything before anyone notices. 2020, COVID hits. Australia calls for investigation. China's economic warfare backfired. Taught Australia they needed alternatives. By 2023, most bans lifted. But October 9th, 2025, China announced new rare earth export controls. Message: we still control the choke points. Problem? Australia spent 5 years building independence. Pentagon ran war games. Taiwan conflict scenario. How long can the U.S. sustain precision munitions production? Answer: weeks, maybe months. Why? 90% rare earth processing, China. 80% lithium, China. 77% batteries, China. September 2021, AUKUS announced $368 billion for submarines. But really? About locking Australia into U.S. security architecture. October 20th, 2025, $8.5 billion critical minerals partnership. Combined with Australia's Future Made in Australia Act, $22.7 billion. Australia is transforming its entire industry. Goal by 2030, process everything domestically. Become the West's comprehensive alternative to China. While superpowers compete, Australia executed the strategy of the century. Not picking sides, making both sides compete. Move 1. Diversification. After 2020 trade war, Australia aggressively pursued alternatives. Japan, South Korea, India projected to significantly increase share, and EU all growing. China still buys 60% of iron ore. But Australia has options now. Move 2. Capture the value chain. For decades, Australia shipped raw materials. China captured 85 to 90% of profits. Now, $22.7 billion building domestic processing, rare earth refineries, lithium hydroxide plants, battery manufacturing, over $20 billion in new projects in 3 years. Don't just dig it up, process it, refine it, manufacture it. Move 3. The auction. Australia is not choosing sides. They're auctioning access. To the U.S., you want lithium and rare earths? $8.5 billion investment, technology transfer, defense commitments, market access. To China, you want iron ore? Lift restrictions permanently, long-term agreements, respect our screening, no economic coercion. They're making both superpowers pay premium prices to stay in the game. Is 100 trillion real? Current proven reserves at late 2025 prices. Lithium, 1.5 to 2 trillion. Rare earths, 1 to 1.5 trillion. Iron ore, 4 to 5 trillion. Others, 2 to 3 trillion. Total, 9 to 12 trillion at today's prices. But project forward 30 years with exploding demand. EVs, renewable energy, AI data centers, military modernization, space industry. 100 trillion isn't what's in the ground now. It's the foundation Australia's resources enable in global economic transformation. Whoever controls access controls who participates. 3 scenarios. 1 most likely. AUKUS becomes unbreakable. Australia fully integrates with US-led supply chain. Chinese companies pushed out. Result? China gets cut off, but doesn't accept defeat, accelerates South China Sea aggression. Taiwan becomes flashpoint. This ends in conflict. Probability, 20 to 30%. China plays the long game. Leverages massive market. Sell to us at premium prices, or to the US at lower margins. Choose. Australia's economy too dependent to resist. Supply chains remain China-centric. China becomes undisputed resource superpower. West permanently dependent. Probability, 25 to 35%. Australia chooses itself. Phase 1, now to 2029, maintain trade with China, deepen U.S. security ties, build domestic processing, diversify customers. Result? Indispensable to both. Can't be coerced by either. Phase 2, 2030 to 2040, become Switzerland of minerals. Sell to everyone, controlled by no one. Phase 3, 2040 plus, independent resource superpower. Dictate terms to both US and China. Based on current policies, Future Made in Australia Act, balanced diplomacy, processing investments. This is the path Australia is pursuing. Probability, 50 to 60%. Most likely. Everyone's focused on lithium and rare earths. But there's something else. Thorium, 595,000 tons, one of top 4 nations globally. Safer than uranium, more abundant, less waste, proliferation resistant. Early November 2025, China successfully converted thorium to fuel in operational reactor. Still experimental, years from commercial viability. But if thorium reactors work by the 2030s, energy equation changes overnight. Australia becomes even more critical. That 100 trillion could be just the beginning. This isn't about rocks in the ground. It's about who controls the 21st century. China and America are fighting because they can't afford to let the other control these materials. Lose rare earths? Military loses precision weapons. Lose lithium? EV industry dies. Lose iron ore? Infrastructure and military stall. Australia didn't choose to be at the center of this Cold War. But geology doesn't care about politics. 3 billion years of geological processes created something both superpowers absolutely need. And Australia realized, we can make both sides compete for us. That 100 trillion represents the foundation of the next 50 years of human advancement. Every EV reducing emissions needs Australian minerals. Every wind turbine, Australian materials. Every smartphone and AI data center, Australian rare earths. Every modern military system, Australian resources. The bidding war isn't coming. It's already here. In every diplomatic meeting, in every trade negotiation, in every billion-dollar partnership. The question isn't if this reshapes global power. The question is, who wins? That answer is still being written. Right now, in the red dirt, under your feet. If this changed how you see global politics, subscribe. We cover stories that shape your future. Comment, should Australia ally with the US, maintain ties with China, or stay independent? And check out our video on Africa's resource war. It's even more intense. Thanks for watching. See you next time.